Let's go here. Okay, what is up? Well, it works, but it's weird. So naming ionic compounds. I'd rather have it look like a pen than a funny arrow. Well, that's not too bad. So naming ionic compounds. Actually, the first thing we should probably talk about is recognizing them. So recognizing an ionic compound. It's going to be the first part. So I'm going to draw two things on here. Maybe a few more, actually. Now, only one of these is an ionic compound. Which one? Which one? Here, 1, 2, 4, 3. Which one's ionic? 3. That is correct. Why did you pick 3? Why is it the only one that's ionic? Yeah. Good. It's a metal. Well, yeah, it is. It does happen to be a gas, but it's a metal and a non-metal, right? So that's the big thing, right? Metal, non-metal reactions form ionic compounds. This has carbon and oxygen. Both of those are nonmetals. This is nitrogen and hydrogen. Both of those are nonmetals. Okay? So this is the only ionic compound. So to recognize it, you'll see ionic compounds always start with a metal. Always start with a metal. So if you see, like if on a test I gave you a bunch of things that said identify the ionic compounds, every single one that has a metal in it is going to be an ionic compound. Okay? What happens if we mix a metal with a metal? Do they react? Do metals react with metals? Do you think? Generally, the answer to that is no. However, you can create mixtures of metals under certain conditions. Does anyone know what that's called if you mix two different metals together? Does anyone know what that name for that is? Yeah, an alloy. Excellent, an alloy. Can you name any alloys? Cortland, do you know? Do you know any off the top of your head? No? So one common one is brass, for instance. Brass is one. What else can I think of that is an alloy off the top of my head? Yeah. I was going to go with bronze, but Captain America's shield is made of something. Is it adamantium? Oh, right. Vibranium? Okay. Anyway, both of those things are made up, and they don't actually exist in the real world. However, there are real alloys such as, again, bronze and brass and many more. Chromoly, for instance, is adding chrome and molybdenum. I always have trouble with that one. To steel to give it different properties. So you might have you have a really strong bike frame, or you have certain tools. You'll oftentimes see on them things like chromoly, steel, or whatever, right? So yeah, so that's alloys. So if you see a metal, right, in our world that we're dealing with, then you got an ionic compound for sure. Okay, does that make sense? That's how you recognize them. You'll have a metal first. The compounds always start with a metal. Okay. So naming them, it's actually pretty easy. Naming them. So what do? You, one, say the name of the metal. Say the name of the metal. So in the case of this, that would be aluminum. Or the correct way is aluminium. Aluminium. Because if you look at the other metals, right, on the periodic table, let's see if we can think of one here. How about zirconium, or vanadium, or chromium, or osmium, right? They'll end in ium, but then aluminum. No, it's aluminium. That's the right way to say it. No one says it like that, so you don't have to. Okay. Second part of naming is say the name of the nonmetal, but change the ending to "ide." So, where's my example? What was fluoride? So that compound would then be called aluminum, aluminium fluoride. Okay? What would this one be called? No? Sodium fluoride. What about that one? Easy. As simple as that. Do I have to reference these numbers at all? Why? Why do I not have to have in my name, di or tri or any of that stuff when I'm talking about these things? Is there any other possible way that aluminum and fluoride could form a compound? All you have to do if you're not sure is take a look. So if we look at fluorine, it's got 7 electrons in its outer shell. Okay. So pretty quickly here, there's not really any other options. And if there's no other options, then although maybe it would be nice to say aluminum trifluoride, it's unnecessary because if you know a little bit of chemistry, if I said to you, write the compound aluminum fluoride, write this out, you would be able to go look at your periodic table, realize that aluminum's 3+, fluorine is a negative, and you would be able to sort out what the compound must be. Okay? So when we're dealing with ionic compounds, we never use dis and tris. That is for the other kind of compound, and that's for another day.